Oh, man, what is going on in the markets, guys? I had to just come on live to just kind of have some therapy. I think that's what... Some therapy. We need to be watching the markets together. And we need to be navigating through what this is. And I woke up this morning and forget Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's sitting at 17,600. We spoke about that yesterday. It's fallen below that. We even spoke about that yesterday. So I'm not too surprised by that. I've just done some buying, by the way. So not financial advice. Before I came on the live stream, I made sure I did some buying. I got to follow my principles. I can't be coming on here preaching to y'all. Oh, have conviction. Buy that dip. And I didn't buy the dip myself. So took the money out. Did a hefty bit of buying for my purposes. This was not a nibble. It was a nice chunk, right? Did a bit of chunk buying. And I'm waiting for lower lows. Because this is still, 17,600 is still that lunar level. But as you can see on the screen, I'm a little bit scared. A little bit worried. Because I don't want to be spreading FUD, but I can see Tether having a little bit of bother again. And now, I know they've managed to deal with the depegging FUD before. They managed to meet redemptions, but it is just a little bit of a worry. So I do want to keep an eye on this. I just want to remind you guys in the community, watch out for this kind of stuff, right? Particularly when there's volatile markets, when you're falling to new lows like we are now, new people are going to be in a problem, right? So let's put it this way. The market, so if you go back to traditional finance, you'll stress test your markets, right? If you're a bank or you're one of these companies, you will stress test to say, oh, if the economy falls to this, can we navigate through? So what we've done with crypto is we don't tend to do this risk management. Clearly we don't, which is why you've had Terra Luna, Celsius, Voyage, I can list them all off, Free House Capital, Sam Bankman-Fried, the rest of it. But what we have seen is that all the companies up till now, so far, that haven't gone bust, have managed to hold on through 17,600. For that amount of time. So there's two things. How low the price goes and how long the price stays there. That can affect companies in their insolvency. So now that we're falling below 17,600, we're now at 17,300, literally as we're talking. This is nasty, guys. Not fun here on the Hourly Candles. Fallen below our channel, just like we said, guys. And now I go back to, you know, my live streams a couple of months ago where we bounced from 17,600. I just felt like we weren't done. It never felt like we were completely done. It felt like we were trying to get a relief rally and force a relief rally, but the market always wanted to push us back down. Now we're going to find out who else is insolvent. So do not be surprised, guys. I want you on defense to say who else is going to be insolvent, who's going to come out. Is it going to be Nexo? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be BYBIT? Is it going to be BitGet? Who is it going to be? I don't trust anyone. Is it going to be Binance? I do not trust any of these companies. Not in that, you know, oh, I walk around being paranoid all the time, but I've got to be prepared because none of these have shown that they're too big to fail, right? So it's our job to be prudent, to take accountability, to make sure we're prepared. And if you guys want these juicy prices in this bear market, if you want to be the person that buys in the bear market and is able to endure this, you've got to be able to take a bit of pain, right? You've got to do what others aren't willing to do. If you want to come in when everything's lovey-dovey and everybody's completely solvent and everybody's doing fine and there's no challenges in crypto, every day is green and pumping, then you will buy in at those prices and you'll get less return. But the ones who want to navigate through a bear market and see this through, they're the ones that are looking for those bigger gains, right? So you've got to take the turmoil with it. And so that's what we're looking at here. Guys, when you join in, please do smash up the likes. It means this stream gets visible to more people and we can chill together here for longer. And that would be great. Let's watch the market panic together and we can help each other with a bit of therapy. Nicky Boy says 15K today. Guys, it's a little bit difficult to kind of put price targets, right? I'm going to try to give you kind of some of my price targets. You guys know where I've set my levels before. We'll go through that as well. But just be careful with anybody telling you guaranteed this price, guaranteed this price. I mean, you know, obviously sensationalism sells. All your moon boys will be coming out. The same ones who were posting Bitcoin 100,000 2 weeks ago, they'll be coming out saying Bitcoin to 5K, right? So ignore all that stuff. Be pragmatic. Find the people that you want to watch that kind of give you the right content and stick to those guys. Because in this kind of market, people just want to panic you. Kieran, oh man, loving all these live streams. Appreciate you. Major dip buying opportunity. I just bought some, and but I think it's going to keep falling. So I'm not buying it on the expectation that it's just going to go up. It's just like medicine for me, right? Take a dose. Take a dose of your medicine, wait for it to fall a little bit more, take a dose. And the reason I think it's going to fall more, I'm a really simple mind, guys. I don't like to complicate things. I just go, here, look. This is after the Terra Luna collapse and the rest of it. And so, if that's where that is, then I want to say, okay, is now worse than there? The landscape. I would say yes, right? We've tightened more in monetary policy. things have gotten worse. You've got the midterm elections going on. You've got Sam Bankman-Fried, the second biggest exchange, was trading insolvent under our noses, and we didn't figure it out until 2 days before, which is insane, right? It's insane. The fact that they were able to get away with this for so long. We've got to look at ourselves and say, shout out to CoinDesk for kind of doing the balance sheet research and really starting to spill the beans. That really helped. Otherwise, we were not going to find this out, right? We didn't have the right data to kind of see this earlier. So we're in a worse position now, and therefore the price can't be at similar levels. So I've got to give it another discount down to, you got 17,240, you got 13,900 at this range. I've got to be pricing in some more pain. That's the way it's got to be right now. And I guess the other way to look at it is to kind of start to zoom out and look at your larger weekly trends. And by the way, drop your comments, guys. I will be coming onto your questions and stuff in the live chat. Just want to give you a bit of a preamble. And then I'll see what you guys, this live stream's for you guys. So let's see where you guys want to take this. So this is your other scenario, is to look at this triangle pattern we're in, right? And initially you broke out to the upside, you got a fake out, and then you got thrown straight back in. So we were looking, okay, can we get the retest and go back up? But the Sam Bankman-Fried news came out and it's thrown you straight down here. So technically you can give yourself a technical price target, take the measured move. Just doing this very crudely here for you guys. It's always hard on a live stream. Pop that there. What you get is you get your price point down at 14,500, right? That's one way to look at it. A few other ways we can look at this is you can bring out this bigger pattern. Remember this W pattern we were trying to form? Yeah, well, that's broken now, right? Sam Bankman-Fried broke our goddamn W pattern. So again, take your measured move, and this is where you're going to get a little bit scared. You've got to take the impulse. Take that impulse move there. Fly it to the point of breakout. Obviously, came later, but we'll put it there. And that brings you down to these levels, right? 12,600. So you can see all the kind of different plays coming out. You've got this extensive play as well, which brings you from taking the bigger impulse move, if you want to be a bit more stricter, bringing you to 10,000. So the way, the mental architecture I'd kind of want to have during this type of period is to ask myself, if Bitcoin did fall to 12, 10, what's my action going to be? And I've said this to you guys since 22, 23. So hopefully you guys have taken heed of that notice. But I would be asking myself, and I always play this mental exercise, will I panic sell? Will I panic sell at 10,000? Will I panic sell at 12,000? Or am I going to do what I just did before this live stream, which is go nibble some more, right? And again, if any of you want to buy any cryptocurrencies, check out BYBIT. I mean, they've got a $30,000 deposit bonus. I've never seen anything like that. They messaged me to say this were offered. I thought, did they make a typo? So definitely check that out, guys. $30,000 deposit bonus. But even then, I may tell you a link is in the description. I do not want you to take that as, oh, this means I back that brand. No, I use it as an exchange, which is why I'm recommending it to you guys to use. But I use it within the confines of what is sensible. I have 6, 7, 8 different exchanges, right? I spread my money across. I'm not in any one given stablecoin. Are you seeing a trend here, guys? There should not be any monopoly in what you're doing. Everything should be spread out. I know it sounds really annoying, and it is a bit of a logistical nightmare. You've got to have it spread out, right? A little bit of some buys on Binance, some on BYBIT. Keep it on different exchanges. If you like a certain exchange for trading, that's fine, but don't keep your whole life savings in there. Keep it spread out. Keep it on. Majority should be in cold storage, right? Some should be in software wallets if you want to keep some online, and then you can keep a tiny bit on exchanges for what you need. And in terms of stable coins, yes, you need to use stablecoins. We've covered this off so many times on this channel. It's a necessary evil, but you don't have to keep it all in Tether and keep all your life savings in Tether for 6, 7 months when you've not even touched it, right? So that's my point here. Is if stablecoin should be a means to get somewhere, right? You're trying to go from fiat, you go into stablecoins to get to a final destination. So where are you trying to get to? Are you trying to buy Bitcoin? In case, then buy Bitcoin. Are you trying to take profits? In which case, take profits and get it off the exchange, right? Or at least spread it out amongst different stablecoins. That's going to be important for you. If you have to keep stablecoins, or you're in a situation where you cannot not keep stablecoins, got to figure out a way of splitting it amongst the different stablecoins. And I've made a video on the channel breaking down the pros and cons of every single stablecoin. So go check that out. None of them are great. None of them are perfect. You just got to spread your risk. Just like none of these exchanges are perfect. I'm telling you now, none of them are perfect. And you've just got to navigate it and survive. That's what's important. Morning, Gareth. Good to see you. Martin, we are on the Titanic. We are indeed. Matthew, good to see you again. Hey, buddy. Mud says, but we will play on. The music will go on. Vicky, Vicky boy, are you buying the dip? Yes, sir. Jay Hates, what's the plan? Buy, sell, drink? Yeah, kind of. I'm not selling anything. I don't even know what that word means, to be completely honest. I like to forget what the word sell means. I know what take profits are. I talk about trimming. I don't know what sell is. Sell sounds like a panic. There's very few situations where I'll sell, guys. A lot of people ask me, when do you sell? Now, I will sell when I get things fundamentally wrong. So when I say I've sold, and sold like that, with the meaning of sell, that means I failed. And the closest one example I can give you is something like Solana, right? And not to do with this crash. Not to do with this crash. If I believed in Solana from a fundamental perspective, this crash would allow me to buy the dip, right? But I do not believe in Solana fundamentally anymore because of the downtime, because of the lack of consistency I've seen from them from a technical perspective on the blockchain. From an adoption perspective, they've done a great job. From a biz dev perspective, they've done a great job. They've shown good growth, right? But I can't, it's like the bit that kind of everybody assumes is right now is your tech stack. You've got to have your tech stack right. You've got to be a good modern blockchain with limited downtime. That's really important. Right, let's see what else we got. Floating Ice says today is a bit of a poop day, but tomorrow the market will be green. There's always another green day around the corner, guys, and you've got to navigate these. And ultimately, I promise you, because I've been through these cycles, you will miss these days. I know it sounds completely crazy, but just try to think back to the lunar collapse day. Try to think back to those days where we were dumping here, even down to 17,600. How did you feel? You felt horrible, but how do you feel now? I mean, you look back at it and you kind of forget about it, really, right? When Bitcoin was running up here of this breakout to 25,000, those 17,600 were felt like a long way away, right? It felt like a long time ago. But if you look at that, that's a 43% move there. And these are the bits you've got to be able to take advantage on. That's why you're following crypto day to day. Otherwise, you could just be a real passive investor, barely touch it, just set a DCA recurring buy, and you carry on with your life, right? You don't need to be watching crypto like we are every single day. The reason we are is we want that extra alpha at the top and the bottom because we're going to be analyzing the markets in more detail. And that's important. So we've got to be ready for these red days. I mean, after a while, they really won't phase you, particularly if you have the mindset I have, which is none of these are too big to fail. And I think, again, where do I learn that from? I've learned that from traditional finance. Growing up when I wanted to enter the financial world, you had the Lehman Brothers collapse. So that was very vivid in my head that any of these firms could collapse, right? You had big, major US investor banks laying off staff. I saw it. And I saw what the financial crisis did. So for me, I don't sit here, and I tweeted that yesterday as well. I mean, let's go ahead and see what was going on. Twitterverse. I tweeted this. The whole CZ pedestaling right now is concerning. It's great he's able to quiet FTX and help avoid customer losses, but putting one man on a pedestal is something we should have learned to stop doing. Finance isn't infallible. So far, they're the best of a bad bunch. Nobody is too big to fail in the crypto space. We do not have a money printer like traditional finance has. Thus, we must hold ourselves to higher standards, better processes, and less leverage and greed. Until we do, we will never reach our vision of what Web3 can achieve. Guys, go over there and give me some love on this. Retweet this, because I know now is not the right time to be doing this, but I've posted this for historical purposes. I wanted to post this on the day that CZ couldn't do anything wrong, just to remind everybody that, look, all you're doing is you're taking the mantle from one person, Sam Bankman-Fried, and you're transferring all the goodwill that you as a person have put into him for no reason, but he's not carried out good business practices, across to CZ, who is also a fallible human being. So the sooner we learn not to do that, the better we will be as a space. The whole point of this space is decentralization. So we should be talking about the stack, the technology, what is being built. Let's change the narrative away from these individuals. And again, on a similar trend, Suzu came rocking out. Go read his tweet thread. Basically, he's talking about, how, I've managed to get through this. It's been a difficult time for me. And I wake up in the morning, I listen to a meditation app and I go surfing the waves and, all this stuff. And hope you guys can forgive me. And if you don't, then I hope it's catharsis for you. Like, go read that. And I said this. Good to hear that he's fortunately, despite huge failure, able to wake up and surf. Others who lost their life savings due to 3 Arrows Capital collapse and the ongoing contagion effects aren't so lucky. Interesting that he posts this after Sam Bankman-Fried's failing. So he stayed quiet all this time. We never heard from him. Suddenly when Sam Bankman-Fried, a higher profile person than him, fails, he finally got the cojones to come out and say, you know what, I'm going to post a tweet. Why? Why do you need that? Just because somebody else made the same mistake as you. It's still a mistake. And this is what people don't understand. This is what frustrates me, right? If I make a mistake right now, which destroys 95% of my wealth, I'm still better than the average person. I'm still okay. I'm still going to be living. I won't be worrying where food's coming from. You now take a Suzu, right? If he loses 95% of his wealth like he has, he's not bothered. He's got a very nice house. He can afford to go surfing, restaurants, this. His lifestyle is just fine. But you guys, or the average person, right? The average person who's invested in crypto, watching this, who's invested in a Celsius or a Voyager, just innocently coming into crypto, putting their money in FTX. Why wouldn't you? It's the second largest exchange in the world. You got stung and lost 95% of your wealth. You will not be able to feed your family, right? That's your 20 years of life savings or whatever it is. That's a tough place to be. So we've got to take extra accountability because these guys do not play on the same board as we do, right? They don't. And when you've earned to play on their board, by all means, take crazy risks if you want. That's up to you, right? Sam Bankman-Fried lost 95% of his wealth, but he still sat there with, whatever, hundreds of millions, if not even just shy of $1 billion. He's going to be just fine. Money's not an issue for him after a certain number, right? It's just a game. So it's more that L he's taken from a business perspective, which will hit him. It's not the fact that he's worried about money, but for other people who've lost their money on FTX who can't take out their life savings right now, same with Celsius. That's real pain. That's not being able to feed your family. So really important that we understand that, guys. Pixel Snake, good to see you, buddy. Everson, thank you for the stream. You are very welcome. Vicky Boy, what did you buy? Just Bitcoin and ETH. Just Bitcoin and ETH for now. At these juicy prices. Nice big chunk of each for me. And I'll be looking for lower prices. I will be looking for prices. Well, interestingly, we are seeing a little bit of support here. Offling. Little bit of support on this candle. It's just bleeding a little bit too quickly. So it fell, consolidated through the night, and then fell again this morning. So let's see how this plays out. Remember, tomorrow we got CPI as well. The last thing we need right now is a horrible CPI reading. That really could throw us to the wolves, so to speak, as if we're not already there. The whole crypto industry is too unstable and immature to support stablecoins. It's an oxymoron. Yes, the whole crypto space is super nascent, and it got very big very fast, right? I mean, like Sam Bankman-Fried, nobody was talking about him in 2019. Right? You talk about an Elon Musk or these other billionaires, we've known about them for 10, 15, 20 years. They've been around the bush, right? They've been there. Whereas with these companies, like even CZ guys, majority of you guys did not know who he was 3 years ago, let's say. Even those that were in crypto a while ago, like myself, okay, maybe 5 years, right? He wasn't that big a deal. They rise to prominence, especially Suzu, Alex Bahinsky. These guys, they just Do Kwon. Like, it's literally overnight billionaires who we're letting sit there on a pedestal. Pixel 6 says he thinks 14K is the level. RH, how low will it go? We covered that off a little while ago. Just rewind back. You'll be able to see that. JH, the biggest mystery of all is why Ijaz only has 11.8K subscribers. Where is everyone else going for this sort of info? They're not getting this information. But it's some of you are to blame because you're not hitting the like button. There's 97 of you in here, and you've not hit the like button. So, I think I know what you want. You just want to watch this content yourself. You want them to carry on watching Moonboy content, right? That's what you want. Is that the case? Is USD depegging something to worry about? Of course, it's very worrying, but I don't want to spread FUD too much. It's depegged ever so slightly. It was this candle that got me worried, right? When I was monitoring it earlier, because that candle, if you look at that, that took it as low as 0.98. Okay, so it lost a full percentage point. So that's where I have these little alerts set up. That's where my alert went off to kind of notify me. That's what got me a little bit worried here, the depegging. But they've recovered this before, so this would have to fall quite a bit before I got super worried. I mean, if we go back to previous depeggings, you can have these situations, but it is significant wick. It's not something that you can ignore. Look at that wick. It is significant, and we have to keep an eye on it. It's not as bad as the we had here, which them to a low 0.94, that low, and they still managed to recover it from there. Okay, but the market's falling lower, so it gets harder to do. Liquidity really dries up. A liquidity crunch affects everybody, guys. So what FTX is claiming affected them, the liquidity crunch, it affects everybody. All right. So you see me glancing over to the left, by the way. Are in the semi-finals of cricket. I'll do the Pakistani thing and watch it. So yeah, that's what I'm glancing over at. No signal. Oh man, just tell us what to buy. Allow the FUD. No FUD. If you think this is FUD, then look, there are other channels available who will not tell you certain news. And I did mention what I bought. If you scroll back, you will get that. Ross Chapman, good to see you, buddy. Just loaded BTC and Matic. Those are sensible buys for you, Ross. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Dira, I guess a small rebound at 16.8k. Hello, sir. Hi, Ijaz. Came as soon as I saw your notification. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate the live stream. Perfect timing. Yeah, let's just chill together. Let's cover off what's going on in the market. I know, like, because I remember when one of the reasons I set up this channel was going through these bull and bear markets is a really lonely feat, right? If you've not been it before. Give me a second. Yes, if you've not been through this before, sometimes you just need somebody who can just kind of walk through it with you. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's not that you can't follow the charts yourself. Sometimes it just helps to have another mind, because crypto space is quite lonely. Sometimes your friend, your family aren't into crypto. You have no one to really bounce those ideas off of, right? That's why I thought we'd jump on a live. We can navigate this together. Clause, good time for DCA in your opinion. How about buying Sol now? If you got conviction, right? We just spoke about Sol a few minutes back. If you had conviction, that's, you're 30% down. It would make logical sense to buy dip on this thing, right? Once you kind of see it bottoming out. But like I said, I'm sat on a small bag of Solana, which is now in the red, of course. I did get a good cost basis, but not this good a cost basis. And now the question is going to be for me, do I sell and part ways with Solana, or do I believe in it? So you're absolutely right that I'm going to have to look into myself, because I don't have the full conviction in Solana that I do have another project. For the other projects in my portfolio, if we were 30% down now, if nothing changed fundamentally, I would be buying the dip on those, right, to bring my cost basis down. But Solana is one of those with the downtime that I've struggled with internally. Zero, thanks for live streaming. You are very welcome. Guys, please smash up the likes, guys. There's a bunch of you in here, but the like counter isn't moving. It's not working for you. They say just jumped in. Good to see you. If BTC breaks the 70k level, what should we look for with Phantom? Okay, good question. So let's look at Phantom and the key levels in the chart for Phantom, because look, when Bitcoin falls, these altcoins can get wrecked. So anytime Bitcoin goes for price discovery, which is where it starts breaking new territory to the downside, like, you need to really brace yourself with altcoins. You'll be surprised at how quickly and powerfully they fall. So like Phantom's a great example, right? Phantom was really benefiting, having a good run up here. Everything was looking fine and dandy. Nice big move up, and now it's just dumping. So straight away, for me, I remember the 15 cent mark being an important mark. This support level we've got here, right? Go back here to summer of 2021. That's the level. So at the minimum, I think we'll be heading in that kind of a direction. The thing that will hold us up a little bit better if we cap is the Andre Cronje situation. So Phantom have announced they're doing an event in Miami early in the new year. Andre Cronje will be one of the guest speakers there, so I expect that to have a positive impact as well. Maybe I'll fly out and cover that event as well. Let me know in the comments if that's something you guys want. Do you want me to get my sorry self over there to cover the event and the speeches, guys? But yeah, that's what I'd be looking at, is that 15 cents. After that, things get painful, guys. Really do get painful. There's no obvious support. Really do start falling, to that kind of 10 cents region before then looking at levels. But I don't want to spread FUD and say we're going to completely head any lower. For now, let's focus on 15 cents, which we're going to play. Interestingly, Bitcoin for now holding up at 17,600, which is interesting. I just want to see, is this just a little bit of a cooling off before the bears go for another push? Because like I said, I expect lower than 17,600. I know we just briefly wicked down to 17,300, but I'm expecting it to kind of push down. But again, we have to keep an eye on the news. Do we get any tweets from CZ, Binance? Do we get any tweets from Sam Bankman-Fried? These are the things we have to monitor together. Speaking of which, let's get Sam Bankman-Fried up. Let's see if he's been saying anything. Nothing from him. I know CZ tweeted yesterday, which I want to cover off with. Bear with me, guys. Just go. Okay, so D started, and I don't know if this was the right time for this actually, because CZ posted 2 big lessons yesterday. In the peak of the situation, he goes ahead and he posts that there's 2 lessons that I've learned. Now, the reason I didn't like that was Sam Bankman-Fried is literally going through probably the hardest day of his life. Look, I know he's made these mistakes, he's risk management, but for CZ to post this, it almost felt like a little bit of a gloating, right? A little bit of gloating. Never use a token you create as collateral. Completely agree, right? That's what started all this in the first place. Can't print FTT and then borrow loans off of FTT when you printed it, right? It's just insane. It's like me printing old man coin, right? And then saying, oh, guys, I'm going to borrow $1 million off of you, and you can use my old man coins as collateral. Don't worry, if the collateral requirements go low, I'll just print some more. There's no value to the old man coin. 2, don't borrow if you run a crypto business. Don't use capital efficiently. Have a large reserve. That's right. That's right. And that's, you know, and that's where the conversation went with stablecoins as well. You've got to start having over collateralization. That's the key. If you want to be around in this space and be one of the ones that survive, you gotta have over collateralization. Right, let's see what you guys are saying. Cover that one off. Liam says, please no more dip. Louis, with the RSI so oversold, shouldn't we expect a bounce soon? See, you've got this way. You've got to be really careful with indicators. A lot of people saying, look, RSI is oversold. Can we get a bounce? Doesn't work like that, guys. RSI is indeed oversold. But whenever you go into price discovery to the downside, when you're creating new lows, RSI will always be oversold by definition, right? That's why you need to understand the different indicators. So again, guys, if you need to know technical analysis, ijaz.uk/TA. The link's in the description. I put my whole TA course for free. Anybody of you who've watched it, vouch for me. Like that course, you'd be paying thousands of dollars for. Go watch it, make use of it. It won't be free forever, and work through it. There's no excuses in this bear market. What a beautiful time for you guys to be learning TA, learning Fibonacci extensions, learning EMA ribbons, learning head and shoulders pattern, all in one place for free. Like this could be like, you know, a really expensive course. Definitely do go check that out, guys. Yeah, ignore the, you know, the RSI will always be down. It doesn't mean we're suddenly going to get bounced back, but the concept of us being oversold is right. There will be people buying the dip, just like I bought a little bit. There will be people buying the dip, which makes it harder to fall. Remember that elastic band? Can keep pulling it back, but it gets harder and harder each millimeter you're trying to pull. So don't think it's just going to keep tanking and tanking and tanking forever. It doesn't work like that, but it can keep falling given this news, right? And I'm expecting some more pain from this as well. All right, trying to keep up with your chat, guys. Bunch of you in here. Please do smash up the like, guys. Let's get more people in here and we can chill for longer in here. If you guys smash up that like button. Everybody's saying Solana, Tether at 0.96. I told you guys I was one of the first to tweet this on Tether. So let's keep an eye on this. I'm not seeing it at 0.96. Which exchange are you looking at? You've got to look at it at different exchanges. I'm just looking at it on Coinbase for now. We need to keep an eye on that because that could be a little bit worrying. Atul is saying he's buying Sol. Gareth Jones, help a man out and push the like. Yes, man. Guys, push the like. What's wrong with you lot? Unbelievable. If, like, Crypto asks you to press the like button. Do you feel that FTX are liquidating their crypto holdings so they can demand a price by illustrating their cash assets to Binance? No, doesn't work like that, guys. Doesn't work like that. In fact, it's the opposite. So what will be happening now is if Binance has a letter of intent, part of, in normal process, part of the deal would be, look, you pause right now. I want you to pause everything because you've been running the business in a bad fashion. So if it's coming into my hands as CZ, I want you to pause. Do not spend any more assets. Do not spend any more of your reserves. Just stop. Do not let anybody withdraw. Let me just take stock of where we're at because I want to calculate what the hole in the balance sheet is. CZ will do his due diligence over the next couple of days and find out what is the hole in the balance sheet. I think he'll figure that out by the end of today. He'll do it pretty quickly. And so whether he tells us or not, I don't know, but he'll do that pretty quickly. And then once he knows the hole in the balance sheet, just like how FTX knew that there was a 2 billion hole in Celsius, he's going to make a decision. And it's important to remember this is non-binding. CZ does not have to go through with this. He could just be doing it to look at the balance sheet, right, of his competitor, which is very normal. Competitors do that. They'll pretend to buy so they can look at the balance sheet, right, and they know what's going on in the company. I know it sounds horrible. It's what happens. Sam Bankman-Fried could also be using CZ, right? Don't think he's not a shark as well. Sam Bankman-Fried could be using CZ to buy time because it allows him to pause withdrawals, have a natural excuse to say, oh, look, Binance is looking at to buying our company. That's why we're not processing withdrawals. So it stops the FUD for a little bit, buys in some time to go get some cash from somewhere. There's a bunch of different things going on, but the key crisis, which is why the markets are falling right now, is we've had the second largest exchange trading insolvent, poor risk management, and it's a huge negative indictment here on our crypto space, and it's embarrassing, quite frankly. Boytine boy. What kind of name is this? You do have a mini printer, Tether. Tether's not a money printer, right? So Tether is not a lender of last resort. So in the US, your Federal Reserve is a lender of last resort. So they can keep printing and circulating money into the economy. Tether cannot do that. You have to give a real fiat dollar, to print one Tether. Okay, it's not the same for Jerome Powell. He could just print dollars. Uma, oh man. Ijaz, bro, you are the dog's proverbials. Oh, come on, man. Give me some better compliment than that. Liam, crypto, oh man. Umar, do you think we should buy FTT? Guys, if you want a suicide mission, go ahead and buy FTT. Like, how do you guys think? Help me understand. What, I remember this when we went through the Luna. Like, people were like, do I buy UST now? Do I buy Luna? And you lot just need to go to a casino if that's how you like. This is investing. This is investing. What is behind this? What's the substance behind this? There is none. Yes, you can make some pumps and you can take little trades in terms of scalping, but that's not what investing is. Okay? Really important. RH, Ijaz is the man. Appreciate you, buddy. Liam, stablecoin sounds like an oxymoron. True. 17.2k thinks Liam. Nobody's doing live streams at this time usually. Appreciate you, buddy. Mark Murphy liked, I'm 95% down and massively depressed. My life is screwed. Sorry to hear that, Mark. It's a difficult time for a lot of people investing in crypto, but you've got to ask yourself, what was your mission going into this? And how far along your journey are you? And did you have the right kind of vision for how long this mission should be? I think part of the pain in crypto is sold this get-rich-quick scheme. It's the same in every industry, right? Get six-pack abs in 3 weeks. Come on, man. It's just unrealistic. And you always got to look at who's selling you these dreams. And that's one of the things I learned early in my 20s was, who is selling me that dream? And what are they trying to perceive? So if I'm watching crypto, let's say, use crypto as an example, you're watching these moon boys, and they said, I worked at a normal job, driving a taxi, and in 2 years, I was a crypto millionaire. There's two ways that could have occurred. One, they YOLO'd some bunch of life savings on a Dogecoin or a Shiba, which they didn't, right? They're not doing that in Bitcoin. You can do the numbers and calculate it, right? They're not doing that on Bitcoin. So the way they're doing that is through other means. And when you understand what those other means are through other activities, then you understand, right? Similarly with, get six-pack abs in 3 weeks. Most of the people telling you to do that are on steroids. So how can they tell you to naturally go and... So you got to understand what are the incentives there. And that's how people get messed up, because they come into crypto thinking they're going to get a massive return in a couple of weeks, when really you got to navigate a couple of cycles, right? Which is like a 4-year mission for one cycle and a 4-year mission for the other cycle. And I think anybody who's been in crypto for a full 4-year length, you're doing all right. You're doing just fine, right? And that's what you got to be asking yourself. Do you have a long enough time horizon? Liam, I agree to that. Hit the like, people. Indeed. Check out the like button. Do check out the link to BYBIT, guys, if you want to place any trades. A lot of volatility in the market, so you are getting a lot of opportunities to trade. Remember, for trading purposes, if you're in and out and you're experienced, you know what you're doing, this is the volatility you want. You don't want a dead market where it's not moving. You can't trade. Get volatility, a lot of bounces to be had and a lot of opportunities to be picked up. I mean, look at the market today. 10% down on Ethereum, back at under 1,200. Solana getting smacked. Phantom back below 20 cents. Painful. Dogecoin back to 8 cents. Painful. Everything is getting shot. And it's a very difficult time. And again, I just want to put it out there that I'm expecting other places to start suffering. And if Bitcoin falls closer to 17,000 flat, there would be a lot of people really struggling. And that's what we need to be looking out for. There could be other exchanges struggling, other projects struggling with liquidity. It could be quite ugly. Zero. Are we expecting FTT to zero, or will it be floating with $1 or $2 as Binance bought it? Depends what CZ wants to do with it. Like, CZ does go ahead with the and then decide to do something with it, then it can get some value. But why would he when he'd want the traffic to go to BNB? The better play is BNB, which is why you're seeing that hold up a little bit better. Golden Surfer, BTC holding strong. It is holding much better here at this level, to be completely honest. I mean, if you look at this at 17,006, let's zoom in. Tidy this up. yeah, holding up all right at 17,600. But momentum's not with us right now, guys. Momentum even here on the hourly ribbon. Can we get a relief up into try work our way up? Levels at 19,000, or at least move sideways for a bit to stem the bleeding. That was good. What do you think about Phantom? I think everybody knows my thoughts about Phantom. I still like it. I'm not nibbling it right now. If we do see closer to 15, I will be nibbling some more. I've got to be careful. I just don't want too much Phantom. It's a small market play at the end of the day, right? And in market crashes like this, I have to eat my veg. I've got to go and buy Bitcoin, Ethereum. I can't get too excited because the thing is, the smaller market cap projects are always more exciting. But that's where you get wrecked, right? That's where you get wrecked, is you believe in a small project, but you over-believe in it. It becomes a too big a part of your portfolio. And I've seen so many people get that wrong, right? I've got to be in a position where the Phantom does not exceed that certain small percentage of my portfolio, single-digit percentage of my portfolio. And if it does, I have to trim it down. That's the rules I've set myself. Who else? Can't keep up with you lot. You lot are rapid today. How can we tell who is liquidating? You'd have to do some on-chain and search around on the wallets. It's quite hard to tell. But I think this is general panic in the markets after the FTX. This is not just one person causing this right now. Oscar, when the recovery rally? I don't know. When do you see the bottom on Algorand? Have we already found our support? Depends on the wider market. So again, same as the question before. How can we tell who's liquid? We covered that. Great vid. Thanks for the content. What are your views on PYR? Where do you see? No views on them right now in this type of market. Again, focused on blue chips, guys. Focused on blue chips. Edmund, good to see you, buddy. I would buy some old man coin. Legend. Carlos, good morning. Bahrain. Ijaz, what do you think of replacing our ETH with BNB? That's what Miles Deutscher says. I wouldn't be replacing anything. I like adding BNB, and it's one of them that's been on my list where I try to force myself to dollar cost average into BNB, and it's not an attractive play, but it's a very good, strong play, and I've covered it off many times on the channel. I like BNB. I wouldn't do it as a substitute for ETH. Maham Ashraf, salam. Hope you're well. Bahrain, hit the likes. Yes, guys, hit the likes. Still, you haven't hit the likes. Man, you lot are killing me. Such a legend. Much love from Australia. Please keep up the great work, says Sandy. Appreciate you. Have been helpful for your free tech course. Good. Guys, go watch that course. Links in the description. It's completely free. What do you think about ETH? 1250 reset and then 700 to 800. ETH's just going to follow what Bitcoin does, right? So I'm expecting some more pain on Bitcoin. Like I said, I'm expecting some more pain on Bitcoin. Therefore, that I could expect back to 1,000 on ETH. That wouldn't be out the realms of possibility. Look at the levels you're at here. The lows you're at here, 950. Probably maybe, in this range between where we're at now down to that 950 level. I think that's all in play here, particularly if Bitcoin continues to fall. Obviously, the difference here is you've got ETH 2.0 now, right? Which could hold a little bit of value. I'm still expecting some downtime there. Sandeep, Theta, not really looking at these kind of plays right now, guys. I don't like, not financial advice, but why would you be looking at a Theta right now? Crazy price action. Again, Theta's going to be struggling. It's already well past its lows. And there's not much support. Sounds horrible, but it's not much support up till 78 cents here, right, where my cursor is. So that's dating back to the period here in October 20. So bit of a tricky period there for Theta. CC is going to invest all his money into Lunacy. Could I be changing my USDT to USDC? I'd always have them split, guys. I don't want to spread FUD around Tether. I just don't trust any of the stable coins, so I'd always just try to keep as minimum as possible and keep it mixed around. I've got Tether as well, but I'll keep some USDC. I'll try to keep BUSD if I need to as well. I just mix it up a little bit and try to get some out if you can. Ian, well, we could have gone all in on Shiba and it wouldn't have made a bit of a difference. Yeah, exactly. It's just come straight back down. Get yourself a big old bag of scratch tickets. Exactly. Ian says, fire sale, fellas. This was always going to be a bear market until macro sorts itself out. What has changed? Relax, breathe. Yeah, and look, to an extent, I agree with that, but then I also need to understand the difference here. And good point you make. Come back onto the normal markets. There's pre-market sitting here slightly in the red, but it's doing much better. It was green yesterday as well. And in other words, what we're expecting here is a pivot. 50% of the market is still expecting 50 basis points in the next meeting. So what we're seeing is that the market's trying to show some green, but Bitcoin is just falling because of the whole FTX drama. This is an isolated incident to do with FTX causing this. Otherwise, I think we'd be holding up much better than this, of course. Mark Murphy, I found it easy to get abs. Luna, Sol, and FTT have destroyed me. Keep up the good work, my friend. Think I'm tapping out soon. Look, that's a personal decision you need to make, right? And I respect that. Don't let anybody tell you you're a loser for that or anything else. If you're just at that position where you do not have conviction, whatever reason, maybe you don't understand crypto, maybe you don't want to, maybe you don't have the time for it, maybe you can't build conviction, you don't know how to build conviction. It's far better that you sell Bitcoin at 20,000 because you don't have conviction instead of selling at 12,000, right, and panicking later on. Like, everybody has different level of conviction. I can't give you my level of conviction. It doesn't work like that. You've got conviction is earned, right? Because there's nothing stopping anybody here from waking up on a panicky morning like this and just pressing the sell button because they didn't have conviction. So everybody's on their own journey, and you've got to judge that based on what you're feeling positive about, right? Master Clothing, what'd you put your stables into if it was in Tether? I'd mix it, right? So I'd keep a little bit in Tether. First of all, I make sure the stable should only be what I need, right? If I know for long term, I don't need to go into crypto, then I'll go put it into fiat. If I know that I'm trying to get into Bitcoin, then obviously I'll get into Bitcoin in whichever place I want to do. The bit in the middle is where I'm in stablecoins. And those stablecoins, I will then split between Tether, USDC, BUSD, maybe even check out DAI. Like, I made a video on all the different stablecoins, so go watch that. But just try to split it. And basically, the litmus test is just ask yourself, if any one of the stablecoins were to collapse, like, is it game over for you, right? Nothing should be game over. Any given one project fails, if any given one exchange fails, if any given one stablecoin fails, the game over should not appear on the screen. Like, you should be good, right? You should still be in the game, and that's key. You just don't want these bear markets to wipe you out. You've got to stay alive. Don't expect crazy returns. Just stay alive. Ijaz, what are your thoughts on the double bottom on the BT chart? Depends which time frame are you looking at it. Yes, you can monitor that as a double bottom, right? Down. I don't call that double bottom. Tell me what time frame you're looking at. Unless you're in a smaller time frame. Please do hit the likes, guys. Brent, what's your opinion on PYR? No opinion. If we have stables and you said it's depegging, what should we move it into? Covered that off. Are you putting Matic up there with BTC and ETH? They seem to be making all the right moves during the bear market. Hit the likes. It's just in the tier below, and it always has been. Like, I go Bitcoin, ETH, and then in the next bunch is like your. I did have Solana, but it's like ADA, BNB. Matic is doing far better than ADA now as well. So those are my blue chips, right? The bigger market cap positions. Do you think we can hold? What is the probability we're going to stay above 17K? Look, there's nobody knows the answer to that, right, Liam? But the one thing we do know, what I think we have to flush below 17. I don't know, they just had something in flush below it, just to kind of test the market, and that could be our final bottom, right? FTX collapsing, we'll look back at this as the final bottom. That's kind of the narrative I'm seeing in my head. I don't think I say this, with bated breath, but I don't think this bear market can claim any larger victim, right? Because the only other large victim is Binance, and I think Binance is going to be okay in this bear market. So yeah, we'll look back on this as our Mount Gox moment. mean, this makes Mt. Gox look silly, to be honest. It makes Terra Luna look silly. It's huge. I think for that reason, can't just be it. I'm thinking more pain ahead, guys. Ijaz, are you doing DC now? We've covered that off. Yes, I did some buying before this. I know you're not fond of Solana, but what about Avalanche and ADA? Do you consider them blue chips? Yeah, I like both of those projects. I wouldn't call Avalanche a blue chip. For me, I like ADA. I like adding ADA, even though they've got a lot more work to do. Avalanche is a good tech project as well. Again, wouldn't get crazy with how much I'm holding on it, and I've not bought a bit of it. I've not bought some Avalanche for quite a while, but still a good project. A lot of people asking me, would I nibble on a certain altcoin? I'm not nibbling on anything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. And they're a little bit bigger nibbles than a nibble, so it's more of a bite. Django Dean, gold content. Thanks, Ijaz. Find it one of the best channels out there. Appreciate you. Please do hit up the like so that more people can find this channel. Don't forget to share on your social networks. Join me on Twitter, guys. If you follow me on Twitter, you've got to be following me on Twitter. You've got to be in the Telegram. Support the community. And that can help us get more content out there. Okay, so make sure you're following me at RealIjaz1. Yeah, make sure you're not following a scam account. Hit the likes for the only live channel during crash. Yes, sir. Live for you guys. Got to cover this off for you guys. Okay, covered that off. Vicky Boy's talking about the double bottom on a monthly timescale. Look, right now there's very little benefit in looking at huge timescales, right? We need to focus on just where we're at right now. Right now we've got this fundamental panic of an FTX collapse, so technical analysis kind of goes out the window at this point, and we just need to let this settle, see where we get to. Similar to the Terra Luna collapse, right? There's going to be a collapse. We're going to fall. We're going to try find a bottom and rebase and work our way back up. Ian says, I'll be very worried if this market persists into 2024. Until then, I'm not letting myself stress too much. I think that's sensible. I think one thing so a lot of the markets were expecting that towards the back end of this year, we would see the end of the tightening policy, right, from the Fed. That's not the case. We know we're tightening going into next year. And so you can start planning in that for the end of next year, which I know is horrible for people watching this. Nobody cares about the end of next year. We can start thinking about, are we going to start losing policy and getting excited again? So we've got to be patient. Now, that pivot can come sooner. Of course it can, right? Maybe at the end of Q1, Q2. And that's what we've got to watch for, because as soon as that money printer starts coming on, and as soon as rate hikes start coming back down again, things... Just glancing at the cricket, guys. Okay, so... Is Link a blue chip? Yeah, Link is like... So for me, at the time, Matic, Chainlink, and Dot were like a trio, right? We used to cover it on the channel. For you OGs, let me know if you remember it. We used to cover it on the channel, and I still cover all three, but Matic really went on and pushed on, right? So Chainlink and Dot are still there. It's got a bit more to prove. I still DCA into them. I've still got decent positions in those. But Matic is leaving them behind, to be fair, right now, during this year. RH, Facebook fires 11,000 employees. I think that's good news, to be honest. I think they've got to lean out, and this is the market we're in. We're in a deep, long recession, and let's be prepared for a recession. Remember, a lot of important, great wealth, life-changing wealth is built during recessions. If prices never come down, where are you going to make money? Right? If Bitcoin's at 100,000 right now, you're buying Bitcoin at 100,000. So hard to make money. You need these down periods. Ian says, too much macro lunacy that isn't getting any better. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Until macro gets better, we're not going anywhere. What do you recommend for percentage holdings between ETH and Bitcoin? My Bitcoin's about 40 to 50%, and then Ethereum is like 15-ish roughly, and it kind of fluctuates, but I like to keep it around that level. if I didn't have a position, so would I recommend staying out of Solana, and can it go to zero considering it's a blue chip? Yes, it can go to zero. Very unlikely. I mean, there'd have to be a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, like if I didn't have a position in SOL, I wouldn't be looking at buying it right now. There's other exciting plays for me. Now, that doesn't mean it can't do well. It's just I can't pick all the winners, right? Sometimes you can be fundamentally right and stick to your principles, and the coin can still go crazy, right? Shiba can go crazy, Doge can go crazy, anything can go crazy, right? You know, scam coins can go crazy. You've got to be true to yourself and say, I'm going to follow my principles because that's what's going to keep me in business. Want to be doing? You want to stay in business in crypto. So it's not to say that Solana can't go on a run. It can, but I've got to follow my principles. And if they're having constant downtime and they don't have any resolution for it, they're not owning it, they're not improving their tech stack, how can I sit here and say, oh yeah, I believe in this project and I'm going to keep buying even though the price is down 30%? On, right? A lot of people asking about Solana, which is interesting. Adrian, we can't hear you if you turn your head. Stop turning your head. Sorry, Adrian. I told you the cricket's there. So what do you want me to do? I'll bring the cricket here in my peripheral. That way. They need 19 runs from 15 balls. I know some of you don't care, but this is important. Okay, so let's also let's take a look at the depeg. Are we depegging? Okay, good. It's starting to recover here somewhat. Come back into the hourly. Okay, so we've had a couple of better hours here. 3 hours ago, that was horrible, that candle there, and even the hour before that, that's not a great candle. So something for us to keep an eye on. This is natural. This can happen when liquidity really starts to crunch. People start panicking. They wake up. They see Bitcoin here. A lot of them start to redeem their stable coins, right? They want to get it off exchange. They start fearing stuff going on. It's very normal. Exchanges will be facing liquidity troubles as well, and that can proliferate. So be very, very careful. Reflection, any ETH censorship in coming days? Not sure what you're asking there. We have spoken about the ETH censorship issues before, so not happy with the ownership based on the staking. It's become a whole lot more centralized in my opinion. Let's see what CoinDesk are leading with today. Sam Bankman-Fried no longer a billionaire after $14.6 billion overnight wipeout. The FTX CEO lost estimated $40 billion, nearly 94% of his total. Yes, still fine. Still fine. He's still worth $1 billion, guys. He's still worth $1 billion. Boo-hoo to him. Imagine being able to make every mistake under the business sun. Have no risk management, to be awfully positioned, and yet still be worth $1 billion. Must be good. He can go start another business, right? People forget about his mistakes and he can go again, just like Do Kwon did, and create FTX and then FTX Classic. And that's it. How do we join your private Discord? So the Discord is free for the public. Check the link to head into the Discord. But if you want to join our course member live streams, 3 times weekly live streams, where we cover off the markets. I share with you my trade. I share with you what I'm doing in the markets. We do tokenomics. We can do TA, all that kind of stuff. So basically a live Q&A session with our tight-knit group. Ijaz.uk/member. So I'll put that in the chat for you. Okay. /member. Okay, so check that out. $30 a month. And you get live stream. Brummy Guy, hey Ijaz, what's your take on ENS and Metis? Nothing right now, Brummy Guy. There are probably 2 that I do need to look at some point. Sorry, I've not had a chance to look at those just yet. But just, you know, like in crypto, there's a certain amount of bandwidth you've got. And I think this is important as well for you guys navigating your crypto. You've got to have focus. I think Steve Jobs famously said, focus is your ability to ignore the hundreds of other great ideas that pop up on your desk to focus on the ones you're trying to apply to. And I think that's really important in the crypto space. I've seen a lot of people who are new to crypto. They start off with one project, which is a good project. I'm like, okay, good. You know, keep focusing on that. Try to build out your bags, focus on your portfolio. Then they get distracted by another coin, and then their friend shows them another coin, and then they see this other coin pumping. It's like they never build a substantial position in any of these coins, nor knowledge. It's not just about your position in terms of cash, but your knowledge, the attention you give it. That is why it's important that you can't catch every winning coin, but you need to have a diversified enough portfolio that you can catch some win. Right? That's important. They need 7 runs from 10 balls. Can we do it? Okay, so am I buying near protocol? Not currently, guys. I'm not buying anything apart from Bitcoin Ether right now. Ian says absolutely become an expert in a narrow area first. Really important. Barney, this makes the whole crypto industry look like a bunch of cowboys. Exactly. When I was going to sleep yesterday, that's exactly how I feel. I was like, you know what? This is an absolute joke, right? If you imagine, it's just sad. Like, for all the people doing great work out there, I like to think we do some great work here in this community, right? Of educating people, of trying to build investment minds such that we can learn to navigate crypto. When I look across the landscape, just cowboys after cowboys. And it's really frustrating, and you can kind of understand why Jerome Powell, why Janet Yellen, and all these other people, SEC, Gary Gensler, look at us like we're the Wild West. I mean, can we claim otherwise? Have we proven that we're not? I don't think we have. I just don't think we've managed to show ourselves in a good light. Whether it's DeFi platforms collapsing, whether it's Celsius, whether it's 3 Hours Capitals and our hedge funds are collapsing, whether it's our exchanges collapsing, whether it's hacks, whether it's pumps and dumps, whether it's crypto moon boys, whether it's, it's bad after bad. It's like, where's the good stuff? And I know there's good stuff going on. It's just naturally bad news takes the headlines. Right? And it's just, we've got to navigate through this and say, you know what? Let's stop putting these people on pedestals. Let's actually check if they're swimming without boxer shorts, so to speak, and let's expose them quickly, ruthlessly, get them out, and say, you do not represent crypto. You do not represent crypto. Just because you're rich, just because you've managed to build some wealth, you've not done it in the right way with the right ethics and morals, we do not care because you're not sustainable. We need sustainable companies. We want sustainable entrepreneurs that are going to be the billionaires that are sat on this crypto space for many, many years because they've earned it. Not these sudden risers who haven't actually earned anything and haven't learned anything. Barney, how can the industry be taken seriously with stuff like this happening? Exactly. Like, look how we spooked Elon Musk and then kind of, bemoaned the fact that he did a U-turn on crypto. Of course he was going to do a U-turn. He saw all this coming. He saw the toxicity of this space. And so, and that's Elon Musk, who's quite a forward thinker, let alone the other more traditional CEOs who, if we want them to put a little bit of their balance sheet crypto, how are we letting them do that? How? If our second largest exchange is collapsing, how? Loads of them had exposure to Terra Luna, 3 Hours Capital, these kind of platforms. Like, they got burnt. And if they got burnt testing a small bit of funds, they're not going to put big amounts of funds in, are they? Till we mature. And maturation takes time. And, very, very... That's what we need to go for, guys. Do smash up the likes. Don't forget to smash up the likes. It really does support these live streams. Ian, we're gonna wind up asking to be regulated. Yes. And here's the thing: if we get regulated on the basis of their terms, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be tight regulation. It's gonna be difficult regulation because we're not in the strength. We're not in the power position. Do you think ETH will drop below 1K? Yes, there's a possibility. We shared the charts a little bit back. You can rewind back. Is the US government not one of the largest holders of Bitcoin? That's worrying me more than the market crash due to FTX. I'm sure it was 240,000 odd Bitcoin. I'm not sure what the number is. Are you talking about the amount they've seized from Silk Road and stuff like that? Yeah. But again, it takes lots of years for them to go through litigation of deciding what to do. They can't just seize it and dump it on the market. So we have to figure out what they do with it. Billy Tilly, glad I caught this. No notification popped up and I definitely have the bell on. Told you, YouTube don't like me. YouTube are pumping those moon boys. That's how it works. So you got to hit the like button. If you don't hit the like button, you're not going to get no notifications. Dan Beckenham, oh man, indeed. Market's crashing for those of you just joining. They're holding up pretty well now. Bitcoin managed to stop the bleeding at around 17,300. Since tried to work its way back up, but still, bears are in control. Still doesn't look nice. Maybe it's just a little bit of a cooling off. Still far from EMA ribbon here on the hourly. Bears are having a field day today. Rightfully so. One of our biggest exchanges, well, the second biggest exchange is FTX trading so insolvent and we didn't know until 2 days beforehand. You tell me that's not the wild, wild west. I mean, you know, if we feel like this and we're in crypto, we're vested, you know, emotionally invested as well. What do people who don't care about crypto think? I think it's a joke. That is a joke. Imagine all the stock maxis. They're laughing at us. Looks like UST is depegging. You're talking about USDT. You're talking about Tether. Yes, we've been covering that off. We are getting a little bit of a depeg, which I tweeted out. But again, it looks like it's stabilizing. And I don't want to spread too much FUD before things get... Give them a chance. See how this progresses. Just looking at the cricket, guys. Last run. 1 run. I'll stop. Deal, mate. Good stuff. Let me watch this 1 run. Is that right? Gosh, you guys work me too hard. Unbelievable. In greed index. Get a refresh of the index 29. I thought that would have been a lot lower. I'm surprised. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe on tomorrow's refresh that'll be much lower. Yeah. Okay. Cricket's won, so we are through to the final. Yeah, USDT, we covered that off. If I just want to hold stable, should I switch my USDT to USDC? No, it's not as simple as just switching. It's about diversifying into a handful of different stablecoins and also understanding, do you need to be in stablecoins or not? What's your purpose? Try to minimize the amount. Do I bet? No, I do not bet at all. No. Never betted in my life. Danis, we will be fine. Yes, thanks for the positive words. Still good. Dollar index made lower low. Yes, we're going to come onto the dollar index shortly. Crypto just happened. What happened? Not planned stuff. All will be okay. We will recover. Yes. Okay, so yeah. So I just want to remind you guys that from the dollar index point of view and from the wider macro point of view, things were actually looking better. If we come here onto the daily on the dollar index, you created a lower low, which is good. I do want to see this now continue to the downside and see a sustained downward trend here on the daily chart. You can see where my lines are drawn. Even if it comes back up a little bit and then falls like my arrow is suggesting, that is perfectly fine, right? I just want to see a stable lower EMA ribbon for a sustained period. So congratulations, we called that nice and perfectly. We saw this start to top out. So from this point and then this point, we knew that we were seeing some weakness. We managed to monitor this. Now, if this whole FTX drama wasn't taking place, this down period here would have been a nice period for Bitcoin. I think we could have had a nice run up. And that's the fine margins we're in. This was supposed to be our relief rally up to 24, 25, potentially even up to 27, 28, 29 into our weekly EMA ribbon. But we didn't get it because Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX, were doing a bunch of nonsense, right? Just like many others are still doing right now. If you think they're the last one, you're wrong. There'll be other exchanges who some of them might get away with it, right? Until the next bear market or the next one. But there are others facing this liquidity crunch right now for sure. Ian, got to get the kids ready for school. Later, fellas, and thanks, Ijaz, top notch. Appreciate you, Ian. Thank you for jumping on. We covered off Pradana. We covered off USDT. We are seeing a slight depegging, but we need to keep an eye on it. Can you share Solana buying zone? I hate. Very good. Proud of you for not betting. Yeah, I don't bet. Can you share Solana buying zone? Look, I'm not actively buying Solana. I mean, if you got conviction in it, then you could start nibbling now, but there's no way to tell how far this could fall. So you have to base it on, you know, what are the key levels. You've got a little bit of support. Where we're at now pretty much is the support from Feb 21. So it's a decent position to do a little bit of a nibble if you have conviction. I personally don't have conviction, which is why I'm not adding right now. Even though it would bring my cost basis down, I just don't feel comfortable doing that right now. Hit the likes. Absolutely, guys, hit the likes. I think Hassan says, I think stock market is next. Can I take a look at XRP, says Downjit. You guys are proper degens. XRP 9% down today. Holding up pretty well, to be honest. It's not even close to its June lows. So the next level for me on XRP will be coming down to 28 cents at the June lows. I think any altcoins which is above their June lows, without a huge reason why, like obviously in this case, the case is obviously what they're basing it on. But, you know, in the likes of something like Polygon-Matic, who's done a good job during this year, fine, you could be above your June lows. But majority of altcoins should be at their June lows now, because that's where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is at its June lows. So you expect altcoins to be there or even lower. So that's what I'd be looking at as a rule of thumb generally. Living Large saying USDT could break. Yes, Tether could break, guys. And, you know, I don't want to spread FUD. I keep saying this. I don't want to spread FUD. But we've got to be aware of it, right? Because they have depegged before and they've managed to recover it. You can see that happening now over the last couple of hours. This is a depegging event. And hopefully they're just able to continue to redeem. In fact, let's see. There's a guy, what's his name? Paolo something. There he is. This is the CTO of Tether. Let's see if he said anything. Here's the... Let's see what... Seeing a price discrepancy of USDT on CoinGecko, while USDT trades close to parity, plus or minus 10 basis points, CoinGecko reports 3% from parity. Like a glitch to me. Binance, Bitcoin, Bitfinex, Coinbase are all trading within 10 basis points. That's not true. So this is Coinbase I'm looking at, and on the low there, 0.998. Okay, fine. So he's saying I'm within point. He's about 20 basis points. Fine. We'll let him have that for now. Reminder, Tether never refused a redemption. All redemptions are honored at $1. Don't panic and be rational. And I think that's right. So I'm not panicking on the Tether stuff just yet, but I want to be aware of it. Why? Because we saw Tether have some issues when the Terra Luna situation happened. And if the price falls lower than that, Tether could have the same issues, right? So we've got to keep an eye on this. Again, we've learned to not let there be smoke. Right? If we see smoke, I'm going to assume the worst. Why? Because everybody has hidden it. Nobody's come out and been honest. Everybody, just like he's doing right now, has to put a strong front. Sam Bankman-Fried did it. Do Kwon did it. Alex Mahinsky did it. Oh, everything's fine. Don't worry. Your withdrawals always... They have to do that because they're going to have a bank run. All of these are built fundamentally on the concept of a bank run. They have to pretend everything is okay. So we've got to do our own research to define that. We can't listen to people. Very important. So, look, they're fine right now. Just keep it on your radar, keep an eye on it, get diversified. Why wouldn't you? Just move into other stablecoins, keep it spread out such that you're minimizing your risk. Is this a good time to buy FTM or wait it out? Depends on your portfolio and your size and your conviction, right? If you have enough, then obviously you don't need to have any more. Trying to lower your cost basis, then perhaps. Depends on your conviction. Right now, I'm focused on Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? I want to eat my veg. Like I said. Pradana, well said, brother. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to smash up the like button, guys. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to jump into our Discord as well. Links at the top in the pinned comment. It's completely free. Be in our Discord. Speak to like-minded people. Have chats. Share chart patterns. I'm active in there as well, so I can answer questions as well for you guys. Definitely get involved in there. If you want to join our course member live streams, we do live streams 3 times weekly for about 20 to 30 minutes. Ijaz.uk/member. It's $30. Join us. Ask your questions, TA, tokenomics, fundamentals, all sorts. You get access to me 3 times a week to navigate these tricky markets, through the bear markets, through the bull markets. So if you're serious about crypto, definitely check that out. What do I think about Aptos? Not fond of it. I made a video on it before. What levels am I looking at for Ethereum? I already did some nibbling before before this live stream. If Ethereum does fall closer to 1,000, I'll buy some more. Breach 1,000, I'll go even. Danis, thank you for your live stream and hard work. Need to get back to work. You should. Yes. Everybody, stop being on this live stream. Go to work. Your job. Is there a potential double bottom on the BTC or our RSI? We spoke about the RSI earlier, Nuid. When we're in such a difficult market, I don't take too much note on RSI. RSI is good intraday and kind of when markets in normal patterns. When you're breaking lows and from a fundamental perspective, something like the FTX saga that's going on, RSI becomes a weaker indicator for me because naturally it's going to be showing horrible lows, oversold, because you're going into price discovery to the downside. Brummy, Algorand is an underrated bad boy. Thanks, Ijaz. it's one of your old videos that I watched and learned about this coin. Yeah, I made a bunch of Algorand videos, guys, particularly the one where I was walking around Dubai, kind of just giving my musings. I think that's a good one to introduce you to Algorand. Sometimes you can watch 4 more videos, but I think that one was pretty good because I just kind of spoke about it from the dome and just gave you a holistic kind of understanding of what the project does. So go dig that one out and watch it. Street Skills, thanks for answering my questions, Ijaz. Helps heaps. You are very welcome. Don't forget to smash up the likes if you haven't, because that will help me in turn. Okay, so Bitcoin's holding up pretty well. I guess, look, we've got a couple of hours until the markets open. Give us our next bit of direction. So far, we are seeing an attempted green hourly candle here. But maybe the bears are just kind of taking a little bit of a rest. I mean, they've just pushed us down here for 5 hours in a row. Yeah, remember, it's that elastic band effect. It gets harder and harder to push us down. I still anticipate we'll lose this yellow level. I just think we will. I think maybe 16,240 will come into play, and I think we'll be operating in this zone. Just a gut feeling. I could be wrong, but when I look at it, I think this collapse is worse than the Terra Luna saga. So I think the market, just by definition, has to price in a worse price than the Luna saga, if that makes sense. It's the second largest exchange. It's not Terra Luna. Do I think Solana is going to bounce back? This one's difficult because we don't understand how tied in Alameda and FTX were in Solana. And I guess we're going to find out. Either Solana is completely standalone, which is my kind of hunch. Anatoly and the team run it and don't have too much reliance on Alameda and FTX, in which case they should be fine. If they do, then you're going to argue that CZ would favor Binance over Solana. So he's not going to continue to support Solana, in my opinion, if there is any support needed. If it's standalone, they'll be all right. And that's what we're going to find out, really, of this next period. And that's the risk you're facing, which is why Solana is getting some pain at the moment. A lot of the people who are selling Solana now are the ones that are thinking, they needed Sam Bankman-Fried, they needed Alameda. And you got to remember, a lot of Solana's growth was because of that. A lot of people bought into Solana and believed in it because of the backing from Alameda, because of the backing from Sam Bankman-Fried. That carried them a long way. Even during the downtime, Sam Bankman-Fried was the one that was saying, this is going to be the next big blockchain, right? Now, all of his opinions go to garbage. Do you get what I mean? All of his opinions go to garbage because he couldn't even run his own company, let alone tell us what about another blockchain. What's next after 16,240? I shared those levels with you guys. I mean, horizontal support, you got a 14,000 support. But the other levels, which get a bit scarier, where I was sharing these kind of price targets, where things get a little bit scarier, down at those levels, 14.5 on the breakdown of this triangle. Play it on this scenario, then things get even messier, down to 10,000, right? So it's difficult to call. There's a bunch of different price targets there. But right now, let's not FUD it out and say, we're going to head all the way down to those levels. For me, let's focus on, do we lose 17,006, seriously breach it to the downside? And then do we tend towards that 16,200 level? Tether, which is still not fully recovered here, guys. Look, I'm here on the 5-minute chart. Definitely not a discrepancy. Something going on. Don't want to believe. Okay, so Corey Gilko say they're fixing the issue to do with Tether. Okay. Let's see if we can get this comes up on another exchange. Let's go for we can't use FTX anymore. This one. Binance US. Hey, that's a big to me, man. Like here on the finance, another one. Go for a Bitcoin chart. This is showing nicely pegged. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on it. Something definitely going on. Something's definitely going on. We'll keep an eye on it on Tether. Don't want to spread too much FUD about it, but we need to keep an eye. Michael, wonder if that Solana well got liquidated from a while back. Oh yeah, I remember that. Barney, do you think we will just wick down or stay at 14k levels if we get there? So, just a personal feeling from previous experience. If we fall low, when we actually create our bottom, I think it'll be a quick wick. I don't think you're going to get plenty of time. So, let's hypothetically say the market wants to wick down to 14. I don't think we're going to spend forever there. I think we're going to be there quite quick. You might have an hourly candle even there to do your buying, and then you're out of it. If we stay there for long, we're hovering around 14k, then I'm going to get scared that we're going to fall even lower. Right? That's just how things are. If you're hovering lower, anything can shake the market, a bad CPI report or something else, and you can go lower. So, you know, the kind of bottom was similar to this, where you wick low to 17,600, and then you start climbing back up as people buy the dip, because it shows buy the dip strength. When it spends a lot of time at a certain price level, like you're trying to find equilibrium, but it can get shuttered back down again. Wall Street, what about Cadena? Again, altcoins are all going to get smashed right now. I wouldn't take it personally. If nothing fundamentally has changed about your altcoin, don't get too emotional about it. Just see it as cheaper prices. And you shouldn't worry about it. It's only if, you know, you're involved in Solana or something like that where it's going to have more of an effect, right? Render token, things like that. Serum on the Solana network. These can all get a little bit more of a hitting because it's on the Solana ecosystem. Ashendran, the technology behind Solana hasn't changed and his backing may have had an impact, but the tech behind Solana still stands, in my opinion. Yeah. So, and I think we'd all like to think that, right? That the tech stands and that the team is completely separate. Other dynamics are the fact that there's selling going on, right? So again, do they sell their Solana reserves? What does that do for the market? They do hold a lot, and it can move the price. That's some of the fear around that. And then also, if Binance is buying them, there's less support, right? Less that backing. They got to go it alone. Hassan, which layer one going to take second place after ETH? The $1 million question. That's the $1 million question. And the reality is, I don't know the answer, which is why I invest in a bunch of different layer ones. And anybody who tells you they know the answer, being a little bit disingenuous, because it's very difficult to know which one is going to come out successful. You're going to need a little bit of luck, good execution, adoption, good dApps. Like one dApp could kick off a whole layer one solution. Like there could be a layer one solution, which we've not even considered right now, where somebody creates such a genius dApp that everybody uses that layer one solution just to use this dApp, right? And it becomes bigger than all the other layer one solutions. Reflection, great discussion. I'm just watching and got a lot of answers. Cool. I think hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. I think we'll wrap this up here. And I'll probably post a video later. Let me know in the Discord. Jump into the Discord. Links in the pinned comment. Let me know what type of video you want later on. What do you want me to cover? Is there a specific token? General market levels? The wider crash and how much more contagion there could be? Or more about the deal dynamics, right? Do we want to know more about what the deal could look like from CZ and what impact that could have? Let me know in the Discord.